Let's dive in. As on the bottom right side of the map, we're going to start this grand final best of 5 with the blue Terran player. This is Korea. Up against our red Zerg from TvZ Gaming, it is Solar. Okay, well, map number 1, grand finals here, WardiTV Winter Championship Korean Regionals. Thank you so much, everyone who's been tuning in and watching. It's been great to get a WardiTV event back up and running again. I know we really did have a great February, but we've got so much stuff planned for you guys. From obviously this to, you know, the main event of this to the cast of Civil War, and like I say, so much more. It's going to be really fun times ahead of us. As we get set up into this, a couple of barracks go down from Korea out in the middle of the map. Spawning pool is about halfway done, and that pool first is going to give Solar a really good setup initially to deal with the proxy barracks play. What a way to put himself into a great starting position. That is kind of crazy, actually, to begin with. There's the Ovi. It's out to the middle for the moment. Barracks going to be finishing up. As you just see, the couple of Marines will start. So a couple of Marines already coming through. They're already going to be starting to rally on forward. Heading across here, try and make something happen. We got an Overlord, which is going to be in some trouble. And then you realize that there's 6 things already. And they're going to just go across the map, by the way. So they're just going to put some pressure on. No, okay. One of them is going to go across the map. The others going to come in to try and grab reinforcing Marines and just try and take a fight where the numbers are not even. Damage onto a Marine like that already helps, though, because it means lower HP, more easily picked off later. There's no healing right now, right? So this is a little bit tough already from Q. Obviously, it's always meant to be in this scenario, that one link across the map. Just going to put some light pressure on, see that there's a factory on the way, right? Gets a timing check on that, basically. Clean out, so I mean, just nothing is going to work here at all for Q. I mean, this is basically kind of damage control. What can you do to kind of get back on track from a situation to start like this? Well, not a lot. It's not going to be easy in the slightest. Not at all. Lane continues to nibble on the depot. Hellion starts to produce on the factory. And a few Marines coming across as we just see the Zerglings of Solar making their way around the bottom side there as well. Just going to be seeing more Lings escape now to the far left-hand side. Ling speed starting up from Solar. The Marines coming through, chasing down an Overlord down on this bottom side. And then coming across the left side, couple of Ovies coming up, Link speed coming into play as well. Starport, reactor, refinery, all of that continuing up from QA now, as the CC has to be on the high ground as well, just to really exemplify how much of a tough position he's in given the start of this game. Just going 2 racks against a pool first really does just dominate that matchup. He's continuing through, command center building in the main base as well. Just going to be seeing these other racks coming across the other side. Cloak will start up. I'm just going to be having a couple of Queens coming through as well as more Marines come into play. CC is going to finish and start to morph into the orbital. Wardy, have you ever done an extreme hypecast? Yeah, like when I cast Katowice and stuff. When the games are like really good, I get pretty hyped as well. The reason I don't do extreme hypecasting is because I cast too many games in a day to do that to my throat. Like, a lot of the time if like a series is really, really good, even then I have to hold back a bit, because if it's like, say I'm like in hour 2 of a 5-hour day and there's a really good series, if I start shouting and screaming, I won't make it to the end of a 5-hour day. So I kind of just have to look after my voice a bit and be a bit more like, a little bit more monotone, and everyone's like, ugh, so boring, ugh. You know, hype, ugh. Oh wow, that's actually 6 drones. This is a really good setup from Kira, who needed something to step back in this game a bit. Obviously, it would have been much nicer for Solar to be up by 15 workers than by 10. Yeah, it's different because when I'm at an event like Katowice, I only cast like, what, like 3 series in a day usually. So you also have breaks between series, so you just have time for your voice to recover. It's a very different experience. Doing these all day. I mean, it's the same in DreamHack season. DreamHack just in general. Like, the long days of DreamHack. Like, you can't shoutcast that, like, super hype and crazy because, well, my voice at least would just give out. It just wouldn't be worth it, so. Definitely some reasoning behind it. Drones continue to go down, by the way. Look, Banshee getting in for some damage. And geez, it feels like Solo had such a good start, and now he's letting a lot of that slip away. Hellions come through, chasing down a bunch of drones. 9 workers going down. These Lings continue to chase through as well. Just going to be seeing the Lings trying to get a little wrap around on those Hellions. Queens sat back over there, and this push from Kira, he's just caught Solo being so greedy. And this push from Kira, I mean, he's going to lose the Hellions before he even has the armory finished, but he just saw such an opportunity to jump on this, and wow, what a great start from Solo. Completely disappears. And Kira's going to end up taking game at number 1 of this best of 5 final. You don't do it from the very start. I don't believe we need to go into every game and be like, oh. Alright guys, hello and how are we doing? This is the best of 5 game number 2 finals, Glitter and Ashes, and I'm so excited for this man in the top right. He might have pulled first in the last game and had a great lead, but it all fell apart. It is Solar from Kaisi Gaming, and oh boy, 1-0 up in the lead in the bottom left. You know you love him, you know he's from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Kira, the Red Terran player, and oh my god, guys, I'm falling out my chair in excitement because SCVs are moving across the map. 1 of them, 2 of them, and they're both going to put down barracks. I mean, some people actually do cast like that, and they kind of like it, but it's just completely pointless, you know? Like, I'd rather just be like, hey guys, there's a couple of SCVs going across the map, they're going to proxy racks. We convey the same amount of information, I don't think anyone gains anything from me shouting. No? Is this game going to YouTube? Yes. I bet you someone will be on YouTube and be like, Wardy, your casting's way better like that. And maybe it is, but it's unrealistic to do that for hours. If I was recording 1 YouTube video a day, we could probably be a bit more like that, right? But when I cast multiple hours in a row solo casting, it's just not possible. That was nice. Alright, here just gonna proxy. This time it's a hatchery first, and Solar missed the scout on this, so a good start up here from Kira, as he looks to try and steal a 2-0 lead from his opponent. We need some sound bites from Wardy Hype. I should just pre-record stuff, right? Do I have any pre-recording slots free? I don't. I could just pre-record stuff, and then if I want to shout and get excited, I can be like, oh my god, what a play! Just play that repeatedly. Obviously, drones pull in big numbers to try and deny the initial bunker. We will try and bunker again, typically here as the Terran. Usually. So far, not the case. He was waiting for the money, I believe. Obviously, you lose some of the money on the cancel, so you don't have it immediately ready to go again. Factory starts at home. As these few Marines are pretty content, just sat here and trying to force the Ling drone forward. He obviously wants to stay as far off creep as possible. He doesn't want his opponent to start close, as you know, super close to those Marines. Good kiting so far from Kira. He's going to get a good amount of these units. He killed off a lot of Lings. And the SCV, okay, it is going to be denied from building the bunker. That would have been really bad if the bunker had gone up. Although I guess with this amount of units, he probably can deny it. I mean, this is actually still fine for Kira, I think, because right now you can just see he's, still killing a couple final Lings. So the Ling count's not going to remain high at the end of this. He's still got some Marines and there's a couple Queens, but the worker count is even. Obviously, from here, Factory gets a reactor, and he will start a command center on the low ground. At least he tried to, but this SCV was blocked somehow. I guess this depot lowered, it went over there, and then it just derped out. Like even honestly, my throat already hurts from shouting like that before, like for like half minute. Like my throat is honestly, it's been through some tough times doing all this talking for the last few years, and I definitely know nowadays that if I'm gonna do any sort of casting like that, I pretty much need to have like a hot drink next to me to basically sip after every sentence. So I do at Katowice. Lots of water, lots of like tea. Just things to soothe the throat, because my throat is honestly in a position where it's just like, Wardy, you've been talking at a screen for hours upon days, hours upon hours every day for years. I hurt. Like, it's not natural to talk this much. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're not really wrong. So yeah, gotta look after the vocal cords, you know. It is much easier when you kind of warm up into it, and like I say, you only do like 1 or 2 series a day. Anyways, Marines and a couple of Hellions are going to come out and put some pressure on a third hatchery. Solar has been caught trying to get away with not having built any more units, but he's got Queens that can move off creep and try and do this. Just going to be seeing a few Zerglings coming in there and just going after the Marine Hellion. Just have the Liberator popping out on the side of Cura as well. Yeah, I mean, coming out the opening, obviously Solar defends. That's generally very nice for Solar, but I do feel like Cura did enough. I mean, you consider how many drones were pulled and for how long. You know, look at this big income lead that Cura took. And yeah, okay, later on the natural CC and stuff. But I feel like overall now you can say that Cura's in a fine spot. And well, the early game was okay for him as well. So, yeah. Definitely seems alright. Solar defense, but Cura kind of alright about it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Kind of alright about it. Viking moving around the right hand side, and the other Hellions will go to the right as well. Just going to be seeing the couple extra Hellions as well. So there's a fair amount of Hellions, going to be 8 of them on the right side, and you can just already foresee it. I know these Queens are here, but you could run past those Queens and grab a couple drones perhaps. At the same time, the Lib's going to go for the natural. Spore here is well positioned. He sees the Queens, he's not going to go, doesn't want to take that much damage initially. He's trying to move up the ramp on the left side, but Queens are there to push that back. Liberator down the right will maybe be able to turn in towards this mineral line. Solar's on top of it, moves that Spore pretty much instantly to go deal with it, and just going to be having the other Hellions making their way up to the front. Queens are going to start dealing some damage. One Hellion already going down. The Overlord taking a couple shots as well from this Viking. Pretty nice to get an Overlord kill, right? And Skewer going to go boosting across the map with the rest of these Marines. Couple of drones have fallen as Liberator now goes down. So this first drop does no Baneling speed yet. No 1-1 upgrades on the way either. Actually, that's true on both sides. It's engineering base done from Cure but not being utilized. You know what? Why don't we drop into the corner of the main base? I guess I'll be seen. I was wondering if there's a way to combine the Hellions in the drop, and that would have meant running into the third. I think dropping in this corner, maybe get that Spore Crawler could be cute. Maybe that opens up some possibilities a bit further down the line. Nice to see Solo with that Spore in the corner of the base, definitely just making use of it after killing off that initial Liberator, because that does zone out some of, you know, where these drops can happen and so on. As right now, Kyo actually gets a good couple of moments of fighting. Hellions have still not found anything to do, and Kyo just continues to build up. Right now, Kyo's got a lot of army supply, by the way, 51 to 34. What happens when we hit 1-1 on combat shields? Like, is there potential that Q can just take a fight that breaks on across the map? Is this Glitter and Ashes large map as well? Got to keep that in mind here. We've seen our Balance continue to roll forward. Marines load back into the medevacs, and Hellions on the left. One of them went down. Still not really finding the opening that they're mostly looking for at this stage of the game. Bane's gonna get shut down. 3 Banelings go down pretty much immediately there. The Hellions of Kyo turn back around into the center. Adjutant finishing up on Solar's side as well in that third base. Just getting that up. You have some Queens continuing to pull down. The right creep thread is setting up, and just more Banelings on the side of Solar ready to run into this mineral line over here. So they've got a little bit of a target lined up for themselves at the moment now, and well, otherwise, just seeing that Groove of Spines coming up on the Hydra Den, melee upgrades coming in. If that continues, here come these Banes. Only 2 SCVs, good response, quick and secure from Kira. Just really well done. Really nicely done. Right side, some Marines will load back into medevacs. The Viking going forward, chasing out the Overseer. And these few Hellions coming through as well. They're going to get rid of some of this creep spread, so more of that creep being denied as well. Here again, some decent cleanups as Lingbane Hydra continues out. The Groove Spines is on the way up also. And I'm just going to be seeing another medevac. This time of Widowmine's going to go over to the far right side. Looking to make a bit of a play. Two melee upgrades continuing on the evolution chambers, and just going to see our Lurgadan going to be finishing up at the back of the main base shortly. The Marines and the Hellbats make their way up this right hand side, and the Crypt Tumors that will absolutely begin to fall. And it's going to come running straight through. Hellbats taking some damage. 10 drones go down in the back there, so that's actually a nice little bit of chunky damage as well, as we have a good amount of units on this top side. Here, keeping up the pressure, keeping up the momentum. Solar's on his way to a Lurkaden with the Hive, so making his way into that. And just going to be seeing our Lingbane force turn back around. And extra Hydras continuing to gather up. A lot of units moving across here, just continuing to move over there and see what he can maybe do, and we'll get Lings wrapping around a Marine, Banes and Hydras. Continue to pour out. We're waiting for the Lurkers, obviously. I mean, you don't want them just yet, but they're going to start getting upgrades soon as the Widowmine pulls back over here. These Marines will load back into medevacs. First Widowmine shot is good. The second one reached across and kind of doubled down on where the first one hit, so it wasn't that spectacular. A spectacular reach from like up here to over there. Sometimes those Widowmines do incredible things. Creep spread still just pressing out. Our Marines trying to come in to remove a bit of creep spread over here as well. A Spore Crawler will get rid of a Viking on the 12 o'clock. All these Lings with a handful of Banes going to move her up this top side, and Q's doing a good job of keeping some units split out and make stuff happen here. It's a little trade out, lifts up, backs away, sees the first Lurkers on the map. Do we have any ghosts yet? No, he's making 2 tanks at a time. Feels like we need kind of ghosts though, no? Like, are we not just at that stage of the game queue? Is that not where we currently stand here on Glitter and Ashes? It kind of feels like it should be, but well, I guess we'll see. Looks on this right side just clearing up a little bit. Hatchery is beginning to build, and again, a lot of Marines and medevacs up on the top, waiting for their chance to maybe shine in the near future. We'll see what they get up to. Then Hydra's going to start running forward here as well. The Marines load into the medevacs, and they're just going to start backing it up. And Solar continues to run everything back into the middle once again. Missile upgrade, Adrenal Glands, Adaptive Talons, all of that continues in right now. Feels like at this stage, right, this is the point of the game where you just have so much of the map as Solar that it's very difficult to really do much as the Terran. And like I said, I'm really intrigued by the fact we're just massing tanks and not building ghosts. And I feel like he's maybe expecting Solar to just not build many Lurkers, which Solar hasn't built many Lurkers. So in theory, this is maybe the best army you can have. Not having ghosts right now, you don't really need them against, well, there's actually just no Lurkers in this army at all. Marines spread on either side of this fight. Well, Solar's obviously just going to continue through. Does he have enough to keep going? It looks like he might. Okay, well, a few Balins going off on the natural. These Hydras make their way towards another tank here. There are a few Marines on the right side still, but I think overall this is probably good enough from Solar, who has a huge bank to rebuild with and get ready to go again. Now he's brought the Lurkers, and they really were just missing initially, though, by the way. Like, it's very weird, and now we scan to try and kill them when there's not even units here. Finally, some units on the other side will help. Here comes a swarm of Zerglings, and he thought he could maybe protect the Lurkers. Not the case. Actually, wouldn't mind if he just morphs a bunch of these into Banes, morphs these few Hydras into Lurkers, and just gets ready to go again. It kind of just makes sense. Those Hydras are hurting, they're going to get healed up. The Lings, you know, obviously Banelings help as well. We're just going to go for round 2 of this. We're just going to go all over again and try for more of the same. We'll see if it will work out as these Lurkers going to rally back into the Ling Bane, and we're going to ready ourselves and push to the bottom side. Run up this round. I mean, Blinding Cloud will help you get there. So many of the Lurkers aren't really in position. Remember, these Lurkers, they can't just run forward as easily as they used to. It doesn't really seem to matter when they just take that a little longer to burrow, but it seems like it's going to be okay. The Hydras do clean out a tank there. Medevac's still in trouble. Lurkers still pushing across the left side, as we are going to be seeing the Bioforces trying to move through the Hydras. I mean, doing enough here in the end. It just feels as though it felt like it's messy from Solar, right? That's what it is. It's messy, but it's good enough. It gets the job done. Absolutely the case, and this is going to be a cleanup here, and this is going to be 1-1 tied up. Solar bouncing back from that last game, which he was looking so good in and then lost, and looking great on this one. Glitter and Ashes felt like Kyo had no hope herself, as we have got in the bottom left-hand side. Blue Terran player will be Proxy Rax again. It is Kyo. Top right, I read Zerg from KZ Gaming is Solar. See what happens next. Hatch, gas coming up, CC getting going, barracks on the way through. Nothing really super crazy to begin with here. Let's follow our Overlord for a little bit. Nice size 1-1, obviously going to go a little bit of the distance, at least in this finals. Guaranteed at least 4 maps a day. I was gonna see Reaper moving through, doing a bit of damage. Queen coming up, Reaper gonna get pushed away. A couple CCs on the way. Secure gonna play that 3CC style. Obviously, first time we're seeing this because he's been playing Proxy Rax all the time. He pops up in the Lings. Ooh, Nelly getting the kill. We're gonna have our Reaper continue to move around a little bit. Link speed still coming up. Hellenes are on the way out on the side of Cure. Just gonna be seeing our Reaper heading back down to the south. Looks like they're going to be finishing up here. A couple of Hellions, seeing if there's an opening. They're going to grab a drone that pops out. It's a nice kill. Nothing too costly or anything, as you just see our Viking on the way up. Is the Viking going to get the kills off that Overlord and just going to see the few drones continue to move out down to the low ground? Just going to grab his Zergling, just going to be seeing a Armory continuing up. Liberator coming in. A group of units from Cura moving around the top side. Heads back down to the south. Like a couple queens coming through. Viking is going to get picked off. Just going to see everything kind of collecting together on that watchtower. So, collecting up on the watchtower, everything joining up. Just going to see the armory is about to complete. And the Hellions still moving up that right-hand side. Going to try and get a bit of a push going here. See what Kira can do. Again, Hellbats with the supporting cast of Marines. Queens will start to split away. Solar. And especially Lings don't really want to get involved right now, as we're going to go back to the right side for the Queens. Transfusions are popping. The Lings come back in, but the Hellbats roast those pretty quickly. Now we're starting to split up a little bit here. The Queens are doing a great job kiting back and transfusing at the right time so far. Doing a really good job of this. However, now we're going to start catching a couple of these Queens. More Hellbats will morph in right on the front line. These Queens have nowhere to go. They know if they walk off creep, they're basically gone, so they've got to try and dart back onto creep, and one of them does manage to do so. Liberator trying to come in, but the Spore relocation is hugely quick from Solar, and that's actually going to kill the Liberator. Only 2 drones go down to that. These last few Lings going down. I do think this is a successful Hellbat attack, though. Guys, he killed a lot of Queens. He killed a lot of Lings. Resources lost is even. And 8 drones died in total this game. I don't hate the Hellbat attack this time. Not every day you say that. There's a couple of libs going through the bottom side. Hellion's going to grab a Zergling. What's up, Paper Knives? Thank you so much for the 8-month resub. Welcome back. Really appreciate it. Well, we got a few moments to hang out then, as we do have our 1-1 upgrades coming through on the side of Cure. And Cure's supply, look at it go. This first push with 1-1 combat shields, I mean, it's got potential to be freaking deadly, that's for sure. I mean, just to see how that plays out. We're going to stem forward, Hellbat's moving through. Now you see the Queen's taking a little bit of damage. I mean, Hellbat's still here, so adding to this kind of tankiness of the army. A few Marines behind. Combat Shields has done no 1-1. I feel like you have to have 1-1 before this fight, because the Zerg is on 1-1. So if you're not on 1-1, it feels like you're putting yourself in trouble as Banelings. Going backwards and forwards, there's a lot of Hellbats in this army, and they're great for tanking, dealing with Lings, but they're not great at much else. This is going to be a pushback. There is a little drop behind the natural expansion, which is doing well. Sorry, it's double liberated, not a drop. So double lib going to go behind the natural and put some pressure in. 2 more factories finishing, and we're going to turn this into mech. So we're going to go... Oh, we're going to turn this into mech. We're still building Hellions. We're still building Marines. 2 more factories to start. Double mech upgrades and +2 attack. Where the hell are we going with this? What the... I actually do not know what this is. I don't think I've seen this before. This isn't just a hard switch into mech, is it? Well, like, what's the +2 attack for then? He's gonna help out on the right side, gonna grab a Novi. He's running through a couple Hellions. He's gonna be running forward. Marines come up and they're gonna chase those Lings away, so Lings do get chased on back. Army still coming through as we got the Marines on the right side coming in, going for that hatchery. Hatchery does go down. Big pick off there. We'll continue to move up to the top side. A few Queens try and take some steps back. Solar will begin to rebuild. Has to cancel top left, but no fourth is going to be pretty bad for his production. It's going to see the 2 extra factories still coming up. And it's going to be seeing the, it's going to back up a little bit for the moment. It's going to see how Vipers continue to go on ahead. Marines Hellbat's medevac's going to go back out the right-hand side. Marines steering through, a couple drones going down, group spread is being picked away at. Again, more lurkers coming up, and that's going to be Solar's perhaps saving grace to buy some time. Pressure from Q just keeping up. I mean, I asked the question about what the hell this was. I mean, it turns out it was Blue Flame Hellbats and then into this kind of tank force, which is now a building. You pushed away on the left side, pushing in, pushed away on the right side, pushing in on the left. These lurkers don't have a lot of support, so we're kind of diving for them. In the start, we were spread out, but now we get clumped up, and that's going to hurt a lot. Those Marines taking a little bit of a beating right there. Get pushed away. Okay, and Hydra continue to gather together. +2 vehicle playing, going to be finishing on that bottom side. Extra turrets all coming up. The Lings will continue through the rocks over on the right as well, so just picking their way through that. And 3-3 upgrade still coming through. Extra Bane's going to be coming in. Extra CC's coming up. I like that CC. It fills up that entire choke point. That feels like it's like a... Well, you're never going to push through there, are you? Yeah, let's kind of go down. A few of these Hellions getting some group spread killed off. Going to be seeing a couple Hydras coming through, +2 missiles, +3 melee. But Hydra upgrade finishing as well, so that Adaptive Talon's in play. Still so many Hellions, right? It's such a weird setup from Cure, and he is going to burn an entire mineral line here very quickly. As long as he's such a unique style, and right now it feels like, I mean, look at them go. As units try and move in here to defend, it's not going pretty. I mean, Banes have to be used to properly clean this out. 20 drones died and a lot of units as well. The Vikings still coming up and just going to be having the army still gathering from Kira down on the bottom side of the map. 15 Banes continue through, plus 2 missiles, plus 3 melee. The Nidus network is building on the side of Solar, and he's going to try and bring some later game aggression to this right now. 93 drones pumping out units, getting that economy high. I mean, both players have high economies here. 87 SCVs is pretty notable as well. And crazy style coming out from Kua. I mean, like I say, those Blue Flame Hellions, and now this is basically transitioned into late game mech, right? He's got like, now he's finally on like tank, basically mech into ghosts. It's something Ryung did, almost. Not quite the same, but a similar idea. This idea of basically abandoning bio late game and just playing like basically a long-term bio army into late game mech. Seems to be something that people have been trying out. It's pretty interesting. Is just going to be seeing our attack through here. Solar gets rid of quite a few tanks, not quite enough to keep Kura alive on this side of the map just yet. Just see a few extra changelings dropping down. That's going to be seeing the Nidus continue through. There's just going to be firing lanes continuing to go down. Missile turret firing up on the overseers as well. Nidus in the main went off, and so these lurkers are in here, and that's going to be a frustration to deal with. New Nidus building as well to help reinforce this position, so this is not going anywhere anytime soon. Hydra Bane Viper moving around the center of the map. Engineering base being picked off. The Ghost trying to come through to clean this out. As we do get the Nidus finishing, and that's going to act as a bit more of a distraction. We're going to see Solar trying to break through now on this bottom side. Going to drop a couple of blinding clouds off on siege tanks initially, so that's going to go down. Well, Thor shots coming through. Overseer's taking some damage as well. We're going to continue to pick our way through the Nidus, and just going to see this couple lurkers continuing to burrow up. Another Nidus up on the high ground. Just going to see our Vikings and our Ghosts continuing through, trying to pick off these lurkers. Oh my god, so much time. Oh my god, and the lurker's still alive. Kills a Ghost at the end. These lurkers are picking Kira apart. They're costing him a lot of rebuilding, rebuild money, right? His bank is being depleted. Solar finding some great trades with this and setting up in the middle. Can he find a way to engage in? That's the difficult part. It feels almost impossible to find a way to fight into your opponent at the moment. Pins coming through, just going to be seeing the fight coming in. Like I say, this is all kind of mech units at this stage. We're just going to crash Ling Bane into it. Solar has the money to rebuild, although it's a massive rebuild he has to go for. He lost a lot in that fight. Yeah, he dropped off hard, but Kira dropped a lot as well. I mean, a lot of tanks did go down. Solar's still the one with the stronger bank, and also more more workers right now. 93 drones with 66 SCVs. Just gonna spread forward. Just gonna see this group continuing to go down. Ling's Bane's Hydras really coming through. Vipers continuing as well. Good blinding clouds across those siege tanks. Oh, that's a great set of blinding clouds. That's a lot of units going down all at once here for Kira. Wasn't really sieged or anything, and so that's Solar's chance to take a much better trade. Just gonna see this goes. Is he gonna kill it? Just before the nuke goes off. Wow, that was actually very close. He's waiting for the Overseer to get in range to get the kill. Solar Max versus 140 supply of Kira. Ling still streaming forward, looking to pick off at some of these Hellions. Just spreading out across the board here. 34 more Banelings coming up as well. A lot of Hellions in the top left. We'll get some drones at least, but feels like Solar still with a bank. Should be looking to fight because he's just cleaned out the army a couple of times. Every time he cleans out this army should be an opportunity for him to go diving forward. I mean, this is not good because his Hydras are going in on their own. There wasn't Lings or Banes to support it. The Lings are meant to eat the tank shots and the Hydras get in range. see now units pressing forward again. Solar does not want this top left base to go up here from Q. Wants to deny that economy. And Bane's rolling forward. There's not a lot for them to really hit on there. They kind of get blown up. It's the Lings and Hydras that are going to be the deadliest of all, especially against those siege tanks. It's going to be seeing the couple Hydras continuing to go down. 10 SCVs have fallen. And that's going to be a pretty big deal as you just continue back across over on this side. Now Q are down at only 100 supply. Not really much more you can do to hang on into this, I don't think. This is definitely going to be a little bit troublesome. Bane's coming up, a few Banes coming back around. One shot already, a Baneling getting blown up there. 30 Lings, 11 Banes. Tank is there to help out, and the Hellions come through, blowing up a couple of Hydras. 130 supply. Can he hold on? I mean, it feels like it's just been an onslaught from Solar. Units after units just throwing their way at this army. GG for Q. I mean, those just not really meant to be away at that point. GG's, and Solar takes game 3 of this best of 5. Alright guys, we're going to dive into our next map. I actually just need to be... Welcome back, guys. As I get this up and running, as we have in the top right, our red Zerg player, it is Solar. On match point. And in the bottom left, our blue Terran is going to be Q. Alright, map number 4, and Solar leads 2-1 at the moment. Yeah, I question about Group B and Group A. Guys, Group B was basically, nobody told me that there was GSL photo shoot on the Sunday. So initially a bunch of people just asked for Group B, because they're just like, oh yeah, Group B's good for me. So I just put them in Group B thinking, well, these guys responded first, so, you know, if anyone else wants to, you know, playing Group A, they're more than welcome to, you know, if anyone else wants to play, they'll just have to play in Group A, right? Because it was, you know, it wasn't any of the qualified players anymore, it was invites, and so they always work it on, you know, qualified players get their choice of groups if they have a specific request. I didn't realize it was GSL photoshoot, so then I couldn't find anybody else to play. Then I moved it to the Monday, realizing it was a GSL photoshoot, and then a couple people didn't get back to me who said they couldn't play on the Sunday initially, then they didn't reply, and so, yeah, that's what happened in the groups. It was just, I mean, not even miscommunication. It just would have been nice if people were like, hey, I prefer Group B because there's a GSL photo shoot on Group A, and then I would have been like, oh, maybe I'll just move Group A then. You know? That would have been really nice. Instead of just being like, no, I can only play Group B, and I won't tell you why. Oh, yeah. Can see a Queen and a few Lings, pushing a Marine back. SCV trying to get in toward the bunker. A little bit of pressure then from QS so far to continue through. Oh, Hellions continue to come out down the map. It's just going to be pulling back then. And we'll see what comes of this over the next few moments. Again, still up 2-1. He's won so many of the WardiTV events lately. He just keeps on winning these things as of late. Why were we bunker rushing the third base? I think he just tried to do something funky. He built like a forward rack. Kira in general is trying some cool stuff in this series. Definitely trying some different things out, which is always nice. As going to be seeing our Simpac Raven, all of that continuing through for the moment. We're going to have a few moments just continuing to settle down. I'm just going to be seeing our Bioforce setting up into their upgrades as well. So that's all coming through. We do have the extra barracks coming up as well. And with melee upgrades versus the Bioforce, it should be quite a fun one fairly soon. Aliens and the Raven there to get rid of a creep teamer, and just going to be moving out around the right-hand side. Playing with 3 bases at the moment, and our Hellions just escaping away. The 1-1 upgrades all continuing like I mentioned before. So what Solar can do to take control of this. Couple of auto shots going down, drones taking damage, and just going to be seeing the Raven escaping away. Obviously, it's kind of cool to see the Raven auto turret harassing, but that's still an investment you make early, and now that's a Raven that's not clearing creep or anything, so that's always a little questionable. Means we'll not get in there, so not much to be gained just yet. And it's going to be having our 2-2 start immediately from Solar. He's been fast on these upgrades today. His Balin speed finishing soon, and now Infestation Pit and the Hydra Den going down as well, so all of that gets to continue up at the moment. Yes, Lingbane Force gathers over on the right. We've seen a few Marines coming through, a couple Lings getting pushed away, and just going to be seeing that Marines getting forced to lift up pretty much immediately into those Medivacs. They have to back it up a little bit. Q has a lot of supply right now, guys. He's gone up to 8 racks. 8 racks has seemed to be taking a bit of a stretch in popularity recently. It was used a lot earlier by Ryung against Solar as well, but we've been seeing it just the last few days. It's kind of back a little bit for whatever reason. People just enjoying those 8 racks as a game. As our Marines continue on the rocks, the Lings and the Banes are going to go flank around, so either looking to get the counter damage done, or to maybe flank this army. This army should probably turn around and immediately deal with the Lings, and as this wall goes up, we're going to run it into the 3rd base. I wonder if it maybe would have been better to think about... Okay, this is actually okay, because now these SCVs are running around in circles. We get a few of them. Most importantly, the depots are bustable, so you can actually have a way out. What's important is that this Ling Bane doesn't go down for free, and that's exactly what Solar manages. Having the Banes there meant you could always bust out of this wall off. And yeah, Kyo probably should have jumped some units across this way instead of coming down and then across. That would have been a nice way to handle it. It's obviously nice for Solar, who buys himself a bunch of time here. And is actually able to deal with the forward siege tank as well. Huge army supply right now from Kyo. If Solar can just deal with this, I mean, his game is not completely done, but it definitely will be on its way too, as we're going to start killing off depots over here as well. Again, eventually you want these units to come back as a counterattack as well, or a kind of a flank on this army. He is giving a lot of units back here from Kira as well, though, which is obviously not great, because Kira kind of wants to hit a timing. Right now, Solar has 2-2 against 1-1, so that does mean it's maybe time to pull something of a trigger on this army over here. Would love it if you could collapse in on it. Now might be the best timing. He's still working over on this side. There's still units here, though, and as long as there's units are there, I think Solar just says, okay, I'll just wait. Viper's on the way, Lurk Den on the way. All these things are going to help him out massively as the game continues. Continuing through at the moment. The Marines continuing to set up. And we've seen a couple of Banes rolling forward. Marines taking a lot of shots. I think Bane out on the left-hand side, trying to get involved right now as our Lurk Den is about halfway done. Gonna run down here. Ling, Bane, Hydra gonna go. Now seems to be the time to bust. Well, obviously this fight happens a bit off creep as well, so it ain't super pretty. So we're gonna fall back, reinforce again. Not far from getting the lurkers on the map. Even a couple lurkers right now could be nice just to slow things down a little bit, if at all possible. Coming up the left side, an overload going down. Just gonna be seeing 50 Marines still pumping out at times. Still no fourth base. Still very much so do or die from Q. He's trying to bait units into this fight already. Solar kind of chases a little bit, now falls back. And it feels like Solar's the one, Q's the one that needs to be kind of pressuring in because Solar's still attacking up. Adrenal gland's going to be done soon. Muscle upgrades. Time is on Solar's side. And honestly, he might even just give up this base. Yeah, that's why Q has been pushing. Well, just give this up, play the left side. Maybe take this top left base instead. It's even better for you. So yeah, just take this different base and again, more time being bought. Now Seismic Spines coming up, so lurkers are going to be even better very soon. And one Viper needs to be careful. You don't want to lose that because it is going to provide a lot of quality of life in this upcoming fight. A lot of utility. Let's see, as they're actually going to start fighting in. We're looking for something else of this Viper. A couple of landing cats came in. They came in honestly kind of late. I expected them to come in. I don't even know if sooner is the word, but actually they just kind of hit like very, basically just singular siege tanks. Wasn't that impressive. Hydra's coming through, medevacs continue to be shot down, and this is going to be still a cleaning up shop, and that is more or less all he had to do here, because now he's going to have lurkers against a Terran that's still just on 8 racks, no fourth base, no real room to tech up further. Yeah, 3-3 upgrades are coming into play, but not a huge believer in it right now, as these medevacs will make their way out across the far left side. Trying to drop around, trying to get something done. I mean, Solar re-expands the base he lost. He still has this one coming back up that I mentioned prior. And, I mean, with lurkers on the field, I just don't know what you really do as Q. He's going to try and build the fourth base, but Solar's maxed. He's got his lurker upgrades. It's time for him to go pushing across the map. There's not really any reason for him to slow this down or to get distracted or anything. He can just go now and just have a whole bunch of fun with this. I believe that's going to be the plan. Knocks down this set of rocks. These Marines run up the left. The tank coming up as well. And this army is going to, well, straight away run into a siege tank there. So that's already a nice catch. I mean, it's going to run the Lings by. There's basically no units at home, so this run by is already looking scary, very scary. I mean, even losing depots, right? You're going to have to be at the point where as QA, you're pretty much just supply block now. Lurkers burrow. Marines getting shot at already. We have ducked a siege tank into the lurkers. This is not going to go the other way, guys. Solar just keeps on winning WardiTV tournaments at the moment. And this will be another on his list. Again, he's won, well, like 3 of the last 4 now, 4 out of 5 of the last, bigger WardiTV events we run. Crazy stuff. There's lurkers burrow, tanks, Marines continue to be chased away. Hydra's there as well. Medevac's being pushed out. I mean, this army goes back from Q, and there's just not much left to be added into this anymore. So that's going to be pretty much all there is to say about this. We're going to see a couple of Lings still working on the refinery. And just going to be seeing a couple of, well, the missile upgrade coming in as well. GG's called. Everything was coming into play from Solar. Nothing at all for Q. GG's, and Solar will take this 3-1.